pens, take notes there.
And if you're a typer, feel free there.
Open up your laptop. I'd love to hear from each of you. Talk to me about what you're doing, what you're building, and then we'll get into the rest.
I'm from Newcastle, Delaware, the first state in the U.S. And I was a DJ when I was 16 years old, all the way up to now. And I noticed, why is it so hard to get a gig? When it came to my creative pursuits, it was always fragmented. I had to get into art and music school to then get a gig, to then make money. And I'm just like, all of this is fluff. I would say I'm really excited to go through the go-to-market strategies and financial planning especially. It's probably number one, just because that's something that I'm a novice at. The go-to-market strategies one I'm really excited about, just to see what other people's perspectives are when you're going to market with marketplaces.
I don't have a perfect dictionary definition of this, and the reason that is that all of this is working together. In the beginning, it don't matter. You got to do all the things. So if in the beginning it's about making sure that you're capturing so that you can close the right people, as we talked about in the clip, fantastic. If to you marketing is strategy and then sales is the execution of it, fantastic.
Once we continue generating interest, I'll be able to see how they're using it. But right now I'm using Mixpanel just to see how they're flowing through. So far it hasn't been too many issues, but I'll be able to see once they're booking and communicating and all that. But
So the last thing I just wrote down, because you said you were like, oh, they can PM themselves. They don't want to. They don't want to PM themselves. Majority don't. So you should have Gemma, their AI assistant, and that's the person's their left brain. That's this is my business partner in your platform.
Right.
Like you just said. And so these creators can, we're not saying they're not capable. They don't want to. And Chandra and I talk a lot about operating in your zone of genius, not cone of genius. So but those are some of our thoughts.
Yeah,
make it a guide.
Profitability is not a fun topic. Like, I get it. Nobody wants to talk about finance really, but it's something that is super, super important. And again, one of the things that we wanted to do here at Catalyst Labs or at Launchpad is really touch on some of the topics that aren't touched on in accelerators. Do it in a small, compact format so you guys can take some of these ideas and apply them to your business immediately.
It actually starts, like for me, learning Chinese in middle school, foreign languages, being exposed to all these different cultures and just trying different foods. And eventually learning and kind of caretaking for a mom eventually that had such a limited diet and limited variety. And I saw she wasn't healthy because she didn't have the variety, and that's what gives nutritional value. And like in Asia, this is kind of like a common thing. It's like, oh, this is good for your hair, this is good for, and everyone's talking about it. So it's like common knowledge, and then you get all this variety. I mean, there's tons, like so many vegetables to choose from constantly. And I go to an American store and it's like, here's the potato, here's 3 options: spinach, potato, tomato, and maybe a cucumber. And it feels so limited.
I didn't get to meet him. He was on a panel. Okay. And I didn't, one of the speaker, again, I was so impressed because she was speaking without reading cards. So she was one of the few speakers that was not reading. So I was like, so that's what they wanted to do. Like, I'm just sitting there going, oh my God.
Lisa, that was perfect.
I was going to say, that's what I was
There was passion.
And then let me do this.
Right. That's it.
all I want to do.
But you just came alive. You
Like, all
literally
this
just came
dead-
alive.
Now I'm like, oh, now I want to hear the solution.
Now I understand.
That's it. So whatever
That's
marks
beautiful.
we have on this recorder, you
That's
watch that
beautiful.
back, you listen to
That's
it
your
before you
script.
talk. That's
beautiful.
You didn't have anything
It's
written
a
down.
time.
You didn't even have to go through. You have immediately locked in.
But I think coming from a health approach, because so many people in America, like America's a very sick country, dis-ease, not disease, but dis-ease is very high. So how can you push the concept of trying certain nutritional rich fruits and vegetables to the American population in order to help them fix an issue that they have?
People are seeing that there's what chemicals and toxins are we putting in our body from medicines when there's natural herbs and vegetables and fruits out there that can do the same thing, but we don't have to worry about what's going in. So even going to them, and they can if they start recommending to those that they talk to and do nutrition, hey, here's the substitutes and here's somebody who can get those for you, especially at half the cost or a quarter of the cost as opposed to what Big Pharma's out there for.
I love that.
When I go shopping, I go to vendors who give me recommendations that make my life easier to shop. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a lazy shopper. So I don't understand if there's an archetype for eaters or a profile for vegetable connoisseurs. I'm vegetarian. I don't know if there are profiles like that out there, but maybe you could put that into your system to make the recommendations easier, because for me, it would be overwhelming to go through a whole list of different vegetables I had not yet known. But if you were to categorize it, it tastes more like a carrot, it tastes more like an eggplant, or something that I already kind of have on my palate, then I'd be more interested to explore that way. So that was my feedback.
And that's
Shut down during the pandemic. They were out of Austin. I'm happy to connect you to the founder. I loved it. I opened the app. It would show me all of the small, what do they call it? All the farmers.
Co-ops and things like that.
All of them on there, and I'd see what they were going to have. So I would know that if I went to the Pflugerville Farmers Market on Saturday, these were the 12 farmers who were going to be there, and here's what they were going to have. It didn't tell me like exact quantities, but I had an idea. And then they would have featured ones that would say like, oh, if you are wanting to try something different, this farmer's offering a discount or whatever. Because as you said, like trying the vegetables is part of it, so maybe there's that. I'm happy to connect you with the founder. Obviously, the supply chain got crazy during COVID, but I think it's a great idea, and maybe you can glean some of the stuff they did. For one of the founders, for example, she's idea stage, and she's like, this is what I want to build. So for her, questions that we're going to ask her are going to be inside, okay, so how are you planning to go to market? Where are you planning to find these people? What already exists in the market? How much of your homework have you done, right?
Hi everybody. I'm a serial dreamer. That's what I call myself. If I had the perfect job title, it'd be like idea machine. I just like to give out and like watch it go somewhere and get the place. But I've had an idea that I've been sitting on for a few years out of the pandemic. It's called Spotter, and it is a SaaS all-in-one platform for personal trainers to connect to clients, clients to connect to personal trainers, but keep their information so you don't have to start over again when you get a new trainer, because that was my experience. Moved to Atlanta, left a great trainer in Houston. Most trainers are linked to their regional area, right? Their local area. They can't expand business because they can't offer certain things. And so the platform allows our B2B customer, which is a trainer, to house their entire business and all that stuff. And I couldn't find a trainer that was perfect for me. I was like, this is as bad as like trying to find a doctor. Like, I can't find, a doctor for your particular medical. You go through 15 people, get 12 different opinions about it, and like, that's still not the right person for me. This is giving me here's a treatment plan that we found online, WebMD, everybody's a doctor, right? And I'm like, okay, there has to be a way for me to find a trainer that is specific to my needs, and that's where Spotter came up. That's what I came up with, right? Everybody needs a Spotter.
Touch point, because then you're able to see, okay, for first touch point, when was the last time we talked to so-and-so? Did we get them done? Man, we've been talking to them 2 weeks. We need to reach out. And of course, any type of notes. You want to track that so that you can move. And the reason I encourage founders to do this at an early stage is in the beginning, it is just you selling, but it won't always just be you. And you need to make sure that this is institutional knowledge. So that if you are sick, or God forbid you want to take a vacation, your company can continue to run because you created great processes.
If I monetize my customers, my current customers, my ICPs, if I monetize them by just one more percent, my profitability goes up by 12.7%. What this means is that your ICPs, the people that are your ride or dies, make them spend more money with you, because by doing so, your profitability will automatically go up 12.7%.
And like, I've never done an accelerator, but I've been around founders a lot. I've been around the industry. I've worked at a startup in like 25 different positions.
And like, if I'm trying to have a niche market, how do I do that and still
By creating
approach
the niche market.
So the way I looked at it was, this is my last thing, and I'll toss it to you.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to build this consumer-facing product, what you said about being able to move this from trainer to trainer is beautiful.
I want you to download it. It does about half of what you mentioned that you wanted your app to do. And
Is it client focused or trainer focused?
it's client focused, but what's gonna happen, if you're gonna get clients onto your app, you're gonna have to convince her to come off of like her Reset app onto your platform
Gotcha.
to offer the same thing. If you get an early adopter like her, you're in there.
You're more long-term health benefits, right? You're on a weight loss
Yeah.
journey throughout your entire life.
Yeah.
Diabetes. So you're going for a full lifestyle
Right.
choice.
Right.
So I think that's the differentiator between what she has and what you're trying to offer.
And then I like the idea of maybe having trainers that you can find. A lot of people that when I was in college, I was a trainer. That's how I paid through Baylor. One of the things that I always have people come to me is that when they have health crises or they need a trainer, that's when they go to fitness apps.
Well, thank you for introductions and names that I will try my best to remember. I'm Rendell Papa. I'm the CEO and founder of Virtual Assist Tech.
What challenges are you hoping to get guidance on?
Yeah. I think with go-to-market, because of some of the ways that I'm approaching it, being an interdisciplinary product that I'm building, is there's a lot of nuances to that. And so not only the receptiveness to different investors and founders is kind of like hearing what they're seeing, but also different perspective on, am I thinking about the pricing right? Is there an area that's different when it comes to the education and the health and whatnot? So yeah, just general feedback as well.
Yeah.
Virtual Assist Tech is not just a game, it's a movement. What we're focusing on is an interdisciplinary product bridging environmental and mental health. And that is because our internal and external realities and environments are at a crisis. With a polycrisis on planet where we're having elevated pollution, climate change impacts, and physiological and physical impacts to our communities. That's showing up as 75% of youth worldwide having eco-anxiety. And eco-anxiety is a term that I'll dive into next, but that results in people feeling immense amount of impacts from what it means to show up and also if they're going to continue living.
It is proprietary, and if you can make that tech something that only you have, I think you really have something with that piece.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Ren, for coming. I know it was a busy day for you, but we appreciate you. Launchpad is a one-day accelerator. What Catalyst Labs does is we host long-form accelerators. So that is a 12-week program where we go through things like founder market fit, hiring, fundraising, all the things that founders really struggle with. And we wanted to give touch bases to founders that are not just in the cities that we're currently in. So Houston is the first iteration of Launchpad. It was an all-day, very intensive accelerator where we did curriculum in the morning. Founders met with a group of mentors and did really deep work on their business, and it all culminates into a happy hour. So you are here celebrating the founders that went through the accelerator today. And whatever city you're in, we hope to bring Launchpad to you.
Good evening, folks. I'm Harold Hughes. I'm excited to be here. I was a temporary Texan living in Austin, Texas for the last 5 years as I built my tech company. Took a lot of the time and energy and put it into developing the curriculum that we built for Catalyst Lab. I'm a Jamaican-American tech founder, angel investor, community builder, dad who's trying to figure out how to help y'all go from 0 to 1 faster. And my biggest asset is I'm a dot connector. I like to connect people to other people and to other resources. And so if I can be a resource to you, please feel free to reach out, follow me on social, and I'll be around until the end of the program. But I'll toss it back to my co-founder, Chandra Washington.
Enjoy yourself for the next 20 or so minutes. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.